Good morning or afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to another weather forecast here by Asian Weather Forecast. And I hope you guys are enjoying your wonderful Valentine's Day. But this will be another forecast on major winter storm Uri, as it is going to very well soon bring in historic snow and as well temperatures all the way down to the Gulf Coast here, and as well it'll continue to bring in snow later early this week, all the way as far as Wednesday to the ears of the New England region and Ohio Valley. So we're talking a large and almost cross-country snowstorm here, and it is going to continue to get a lot worse as we go throughout the day, and this major storm continues to expand here. So I will have another video out later this evening. So if you guys want to get a forecast, later updates from this new model runs later in the evening, then be sure to watch my video there, and I'll have the latest updates here on this major winter storm as it unfolds. As well, if you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. I appreciate all support. And if you have any questions on this major winter storm that I have not really answered throughout the video, then be sure to ask them in the comments below, and I will do my best to respond to them. But without further ado, let's get in the forecast. So this is what we have here for the National Weather Service as of this morning here, and it just keeps getting more and more surprising. I mean, every single time I see the new National Weather Service update, I just get more and more surprised. I mean, literally the whole state of Texas is under some type of winter alert. We have winter storm warnings, guys, all the way down to the Mexico border, from the Gulf Coast as well, near Corpus Christi, near Brownsville. We are talking areas that we didn't even really get snow all the way to from Benji. I mean, this is absolutely crazy. So we have millions under winter storm warnings here, stretching from New Mexico all the way up to Pennsylvania. So we have a lot of new warnings that have now been issued for areas like Tennessee, now into Alabama. These warnings have continued to go more into Louisiana. So Baton Rouge, guys, is now under a windstorm warning, and New Orleans is just outside a winter weather advisory. I mean, this is super duper surprising. So we also have a few blizzard warnings here near the Albuquerque region, and as well a blizzard warning there, as we are going to be seeing some very strong winds here. So this could technically be a blizzard area here, blizzard Uri, but almost a third of the mainland United States country is under some type of alert for a major windstorm Uri. I mean, just outside Mobile, we have a advisory, and these watches now extend all the way up to areas like the upper Northeast and New England regions there. But this is what we have so far in the National Weather Service. We're also including areas like Missouri, Kansas, Chicago, all the way as well into Toledo. So this is not just going to be a south central system, but as you can tell, that's where it could be possibly the worst here, because we are talking dangerous icy conditions all the way down to the Gulf Coast. So this could lead to a lot of trouble, since a lot of these drivers aren't used to it. But as well, ice storm warnings have now been issued across portions of the Charleston region and as well as southeastern Kentucky. But because this is where we may see potentially over half an inch of ice here. So we're talking as well not only dangerous snowy conditions, but as well dangerous icy conditions. But this is now a look at what we have so far for, this is what we're expecting in the next few hours according to the European. We're going to get some snow continuing to expand across the south central there. Starting to see some ice developing throughout this morning here into this early afternoon across portions of the south central, but of course mainly that snow is gradually expanding here and making its way towards the south central. Starting to see that snow really getting intense right now across areas like Kansas and as well Missouri and portions as well. In Oklahoma, we're getting some intense snow, but later into tonight, into early tomorrow morning, this ice, of course, will become a lot of a bigger threat here, especially on the coastal areas where that low pressure is going to be right there. And it's cold air from this major high pressure is going to bring in extremely, extremely cold air, and that's going to allow for all that precipitation to convert into whether it's freezing rain or snow. So frozen precipitation will be extremely widespread, and it doesn't matter if you're on the coast or not. It's going to be snow or ice. All that rain will kind of stay off the coast here, surprisingly. But there you see that backside, the far backside of the system will obviously be snow, because that's where we're seeing those colder temperatures, like in the negative digits and single digits. but more towards that freezing line here is kind of where we're seeing maybe some upper teens and some 20s there, but still going to be seeing some dangerous ice across Houston, Alabama, Tennessee there, as well as some dangerous snowy conditions across areas like Dallas, Austin, moving to as well those snowy conditions all the way up to areas like St. Louis and into the Tennessee Valley. But as we now get into later tomorrow, this will just become a lot larger of a threat here. Snow all the way from Houston to areas like Boston. This is going to be a super duper widespread system. So there's that low pressure. There's the high pressure. So it's going to bring that deep cold layer and it's going to bring in all that moisture. So it's going to bring in a big system here. I mean, we're talking dangerous icy conditions across Missouri. Not Missouri, across Mississippi and Louisiana. And it's not just like a tenth of an inch. We're talking potentially a half an inch of ice across Jackson, Mississippi, Louisiana, Alabama, and that's enough to take down power lines, tree limbs, not just because of the South, but anywhere that gets half an inch of ice is possibly almost impossible traveling conditions, but extremely impossible, especially for the South Central, but extremely heavy snow across areas off the Mississippi River, like Memphis, like Louisiana, like Arkansas, and that snow will continue all the way up to the Great Lakes here, portions of Cleveland, Pittsburgh, all the way as well into areas like Cincinnati, another system. And not just the Northeast, but moving far into Toronto, as well as London, Ontario. So this is going to be an absolute massive system. But as low pressure does move more inland, there you see that high pressure kind of up there, I mean that cold layer towards the south central and the central United States. So that's going to allow for the backside, that western side of that low pressure, where that coldest air will be, to stay around there across the Ohio Valley. So that's going to allow for some snow to extend all the way to like Chicago, Milwaukee. Continue to see some snow all the way to like areas like Montgomery. May see a mix there in upper northwestern Georgia, but other than that, this low pressure is going to be too close to Georgia and South Carolina and North Carolina for them to get anything here. But really big time snows, potentially the bullseye may be areas off Lake Erie, like Cleveland, Erie, as well as portions of Buffalo and Jamestown may get potentially near a foot of snow. And that's because that snow is going to be continuing to get a lot worse here and a lot heavier. Going to see some snow, good snow for Detroit, some good snow there for Cleveland, some good as well icy conditions there across portions of the Northeast. But again, this will be a nor'easter later on the end of the system, but it'll only be really bringing that wintry mess more towards the inland and upper Northeast, not really coastal Northeast, because this low pressure it's too close to the coastline to actually bring in frozen precipitation towards the coast. But this is what the HRR has for the next, I believe, hour or so. They had that snow, of course, really starting to get a lot worse here and a lot heavier across portions of Oklahoma and northern Texas, and seeing some scattered areas where we will be seeing some dangerous icy conditions. So the thing about this storm and this cold air, since it's so frigid in these areas, you don't have to be close to the actual main system to start getting some frozen precipitation. So that's kind of what happened with Dallas and Fort Worth. All that ice came from just a little band of unforecasted freezing rain. But as well, same thing here. We're going to start seeing some unforecasted freezing rain popping up on the radar, and it's going to bring unexpected ice earlier to these areas, which can lead to some dangerous conditions. So that's going to continue to be a threat as we now get in the next few hours. That snow will start to move into areas like Dallas, will start to move into areas like Fort Worth, Austin. It's going to kind of pass Abilene at this point, but the snow and ice will continue to become a widespread threat more towards the eastern areas as well, like the Mississippi River area, like Memphis, you got Jonesboro, you got Poplar Bluff, and starting to see some freezing rain developing all the way from areas like southern Texas there to areas like Tennessee. So we're going to be seeing, again, a very big ice threat. So let me actually go back one more thing. So this is really 17 hours from now. That snow is going to get really intense across areas like Texas. Extremely heavy snow across the eastern central region. But as well, some big time ice for areas like the coast, Corpus Christi, Lake Charles, Beaumont, Houston. And then you see that upper region there starting to get that snow as well, like Indianapolis, Lexington, Tennessee, upper Missouri, as well as Illinois. And there you see the ice developing later on. But this is now a look at the this is now a look at the NAM 3 kilometer. This is what they have in the next 6 hours or so. You can kind of see that snow really starting to get a lot more intense there, especially in areas like El Paso and as well Albuquerque, where we do actually have we have to watch out for those blizzard warnings there in Albuquerque. We are going to be seeing some very gusty winds, but that snow is going to be really mainly staying into Texas and Oklahoma for the next few hours, and then we will start to see that snow extending towards the Ozarks there. But as well, the ice starting to pop up across Louisiana and Texas. Definitely not something you want to see, especially to this kind of starting to develop ahead of schedule. But later in the next around 22 hours from now, this snow is going to be absolutely crazy. Super widespread from areas like Dallas there, Texarkana, to areas like Detroit and Toronto. We're going to be seeing some very heavy snow across Indianapolis, some heavy snow across Cincinnati, extremely heavy snow across Texarkana, Little Rock, Fayetteville, and some dangerous ice across Houston, Louisiana, Arkansas there, and as well. So you can see that that ice kind of starting to develop there, where we have those ice storm warnings, like in Kentucky and etc. But as this main low pressure starts to move more up the eastern United States, is when a big storm starts to move in. Now we're potentially going to be seeing some whiteout conditions once in a while in some of these areas like Memphis, Poplar Bluff, Paducah, Evansville, Jonesboro. Those general areas may see some whiteout conditions because the snow is going to be so heavy. Right in these areas is where you gotta really watch out, where we may see some gusty winds. I'm not talking blizzard conditions, but I'm saying we could see some whiteout conditions because the snow is gonna be so heavy that it could be very hard to see. The visibility will be reduced a lot. And then you see the ice more towards the east there. And that's when you kind of be seeing that dangerous ice across Jackson, Tupelo, moving to Nashville. And then later in the next 40 hours here by continuing on to later Monday, that snow will continue to be a big threat across now the Midwest as well, like Madison, Chicago, some more snow for St. Louis. Extremely heavy snow now starting to develop there across the Lake Erie region, and as well Lake Huron there off Detroit, Cleveland, Erie. Starting to see as well some dangerous ice across areas like the Philadelphia metro. So we could see some light ice across Philadelphia, and then the storm will end later on, moving more towards the upper northeast. But here's now a look at what we have forecasted from the European here. So you can see that snowfall totals have mainly stayed the same, but we have some areas where we have kind of seen a little bit of a difference here. But as you see, European still predicts a few good inches there across Dallas, there 4 to 5 inches there across upper Oklahoma. But this is the main region right here. We'll be seeing that very heavy snow across this region here, from all the way from the Mississippi River Basin there near upper Louisiana, eastern Arkansas, areas like Memphis, all the way up to areas like Maine, is because that's where we're seeing that heavy snow. And these areas are all going to be northwest of the low pressure, which is where we'll be seeing that heaviest snow, because that low pressure makes its way up to the east coast, and it's going to bring in this heavy precipitation more towards the northwest. And that's exactly why these areas will be the bullseye here, exactly why these areas won't get any snow really from this. But as you do see, snowfall totals are going to be really good for Memphis there, areas like Jonesboro, Monroe, all the way up to Cincinnati, Cleveland, as well Columbus, all the way up to areas like Lake Erie and Huron, possibly 10 plus inches north of Buffalo, maybe 9 plus inches near Lake Erie, all the way up to the areas in the Appalachians, where we may see a good few half foot or more in Vermont and New Hampshire. But Nashville may get maybe anywhere from maybe 6 to 7 inches there. Tupelo 1 to 3 inches. Little Rock may get 3 to 5 inches there. But really watching eastern Louisiana, far west from Mississippi, and far western Tennessee. That's where we see that bullseye for the South Central, and exactly where we may see those whiteout conditions on and off. HRR for the next 18 hours. So this is what the HRR has forecasted snowfall total wise for the next 18 hours. And look how we're really watching for El Paso. I mean, they actually may get near a foot according to the HRR in El Paso, where we are seeing the blizzard warning. The blizzard warning's not in El Paso, but it's just to the east of El Paso, because that blizzard warning, I believe, is right here, and El Paso obviously right here. So we may actually see a lot more snow in far far western Texas there as well, far southern New Mexico. That's exactly where we have to really watch out for some nice snow there. But as well, really watching especially the areas like Texas and Oklahoma for the next 18 hours. These are the areas that will definitely get the heaviest snow between now and tomorrow morning. You can see possibly some scattered areas up to half a foot across Oklahoma and Texas there, especially Oklahoma City. And look at areas like as well Austin, that general region there can get some really good snowfall totals. But Arkansas, especially the Ozarks, these general regions in the Ozarks may get anywhere from 2 to 5 inches in the next 18 hours. Like Fayetteville, could see maybe a trace for Little Rock there, but really it's going to start to get a lot more intense in these areas between the next 18 after the next 18 hours. So definitely got to really watch out for that. But this is what the NAM 3 kilometer has forecasted here. You can kind of see they're showing similar expectations here for the next around few hours here for areas like El Paso and far southern New Mexico. I mean, far southern New Mexico may actually get reach over areas of more than 2 feet of snow and some very good snow across areas of far western Texas. But really, of course, this is going to definitely be the bullseye area. These areas right here, without a doubt. Nashville, you guys may only get maybe an inch or so according to the latest NAM 3 kilometer update. Looking at maybe over half foot across Dallas. Looking at very, very impressive totals, guys, for eastern Arkansas, far northern Louisiana actually may get near 8+ inches. Little Rock may get 6 to 9 inches. So we're looking at very, very impressive totals for the areas of the South Central here. These areas are going to get potentially shocked by how much snow they're going to get here, like Paducah, Memphis, Jonesboro, Poplar Bluff, Little Rock. All its areas like Evansville and Louisville may get shocked by how much snow they may get here. But looking at maybe as well, it's maybe 6+ inches there for Detroit, maybe 6+ inches there for Indianapolis, maybe 5+ inches for Chicago. So even Chicago may get some very good snow here. And as well, that will obviously continue all the way up to areas, of course, in the Great Lakes there, and as well more towards the higher elevations there. Ice, really big threat here, ice. In the next few hours, you're going to start seeing some very widespread areas of freezing rain. So this is why there's going to be such a big system. We may see a tenth of an inch all the way from Texas to areas like Pennsylvania. And this ice will continue to worsen here, especially in these far south central regions there. Make it actually maybe half an inch of ice across these regions. And then it'll continue to be a big threat all the way across the northeast and as well the Ohio Valley. But it does not stop there. We actually may reach maybe an inch of ice across Jackson, Mississippi, Macomb, Mississippi there. So we're going to be really watching these areas for ice. This is definitely the big area to watch for ice, and as well, really watching ice, especially these two areas is really where I think we actually may see ice storm warnings here. I wouldn't be shocked if we get an ice storm warning for southern Mississippi because the amount of ice we're going to be seeing here. And then, of course, the ice will move its way northeast, whereas that low pressure does move more to the north and may reach maybe anywhere from maybe a 4/10 of an inch to possibly even a half an inch. And then, of course, we'll end. But hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll post again later this evening.